The neon lights of Night City flicker like restless spirits, casting fractured reflections on the rain-slicked streets. V weaves through the labyrinth of alleys, boots splashing through puddles, the sound swallowed by the city's relentless hum. It's been one of those days. Too many bullets, too many deals, too many close calls. V needs a place to shake off the weight, let the tension seep away like steam rising from a manhole cover. But where? The city is full of options, each bar offering its own brand of refuge, or more often distraction. V needs something more tonight, something that doesn't just dull the edges, but smooths them out entirely. A place where the noise of Night City is muted, where the walls offer more than just shelter from the rain. Somewhere to breathe, V thinks, shoulders hunched against the ever-present drizzle. The thought echoes in the hollow space where exhaustion meets resolve. The city's a beast that never sleeps, but even the hardest merc needs a break, a sanctuary, not just a bar. As V's eyes scan the neon jungle, thoughts narrow down to a simple question. Which place fits the mood? Where does a merc go when the weight of the world needs lifting? Each bar has its own soul, V muses, fingers brushing the edge of a damp jacket, and each reflects a piece of this damn city, and maybe a piece of me. So tonight's the night to find out which one fits, which sanctuary is the right one for right now. We're diving deep, ranking these haunts from C to S, cutting through the surface gloss to find the places that offer real escape, or just a different kind of noise. Let's see what this city has to offer, V thinks, the ghost of a smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. Let's see where the night takes me. V steps into Yagami Market and immediately feels out of place. Situated in Lely Park, Charter Hill, this bar is the epitome of a corpo hangout. Clean, efficient, and utterly soulless. The kind of place where mid-level execs and corpo wannabes gather to unwind after a long day of pushing paper. But for a merc like V, who's more at home in the gritty underbelly of Night City, this place couldn't feel more alien. All right, so this is what passes for a night out in Charter Hill, V mutters under his breath, taking in the glass and chrome decor that's as uninspired as it is sterile. Sure, the place is well kept, but there's no personality here. It's all polished surfaces and cheap sophistication. They've got the look down, but it's missing the heart, the real character of Night City. The crowd is exactly what V expected. Yuppie corpo types, the kind who think they've made it just because they landed a cushy job in a megacorp. A sea of suits, V notes, glancing around, and not the kind you see in Corpo Plaza either. These are the mid-tier folks, thinking they're living the high life, but it's all just a facade, same as this bar. The staff are efficient, sure, but there's a coldness to their professionalism. It's the kind of place where you're just another customer to be processed, not someone to be welcomed. Yeah, they'll serve you quick, but don't expect a smile with it, V thinks, shaking his head. And if you're from somewhere rough like Watson, forget about fitting in here. Layla Park might be a nice spot in Charter Hill, but it's a far cry from the real Night City, the one V knows all too well. This place is so out of touch with the streets I walk, V muses. It's all surface, no substance. In the end, Yagami Market earns its spot in the D tier for V. It's not that it's a bad bar, it's just not V's kind of place. With its generic design, corpo crowd, and lack of real character, it's a poor fit for anyone looking for something more than just another bland night out. V pushes through the door of the Dicky Twister, and a wave of neon lights and vintage decor washes over him. The place is loud, flashy, and unapologetically in your face. It's got a vibe that's hard to ignore, something that might appeal to a certain crowd. But as V looks around, he can't shake the feeling that he's out of place. This bar's got character, I'll give it that, V mutters, his eyes scanning the garish neon signs and the retro flair of the decor. The whole setup is like a wild throwback, dripping in kitsch. But it's just not my scene. The neon and retro vibes feels like stepping into someone else's memories, not mine. The Dicky Twister sits in Vista del Rey, a part of Haywood that's seen better days. The contrast between the bar's vibrant, almost over-the-top atmosphere and the harsh, gritty streets outside is striking. It's weird, V muses, shaking his head. Inside it's all neon and noise, but outside, It's the kind of place where you keep one hand on your piece and the other on your wallet. Doesn't quite mesh. The crowd inside is lively, full of energy, people looking for a good time, to lose themselves in the noise and the flash. But for V, whose usual haunts are more about laying low and escaping the chaos, this just feels like too much. I get it, he thinks, glancing around at the dancing, the drinks, the smoke-filled air. Maybe this is someone else's escape, but for me, I'm just not feeling it. Too disconnected from what I'm looking for. In the end, the Dicky Twister lands solidly in the D tier for V. Sure, it's got its own unique appeal, and it definitely stands out in its own way. The flashy charm and the rough reality of Vista del Rey, along with V's personal preferences and orientation, it just doesn't cut it as a place to find real solace. Empathy sits in the heart of downtown city center, pulsing with neon lights and an atmosphere designed to overwhelm the senses. The moment V enters, he's hit with a wave of familiar aesthetics, vibrant colors, sleek design, and that overdone, high-end vibe typical of hardcore braindance spots. Neon on neon again, V mutters, taking in the scene. It's flashy, no doubt, but it feels like something he's seen 100 times before. If you've seen one of these, you've seen them all, he continues, scanning the room for something that sets it apart. But nothing does. The club, though centrally located and convenient, lacks a unique draw. It leans more corpo than anything else, with the Animals gang providing security, a detail that only adds to the cold, detached vibe. Sure, it's good for those looking to drown themselves in sensory overload, V thinks. But for me, it's just too much and too little at the same time. Doesn't hit the right notes when you're after something more meaningful. The name's empathy, but there's none to be found here. If you're a delicate soul, you're better off heading to Lizzie's. The club feels more like a spectacle than a sanctuary, all flash and no warmth. For V, empathy is a C-tier spot. Great location, but it's just another neon-lit club in a city full of them, lacking the deeper connection he seeks when he needs to unwind. Hometown Deli, tucked away in the shadow of Corpo Plaza's towering skyscrapers, is easy to overlook. From the outside, it's almost forgettable, blending into the clean corporate surroundings without much effort. Inside, the atmosphere is more of the same, a space that's neat and orderly but lacking in anything that gives it real character. Well, this is underwhelming, V thinks, taking in the minimalist decor. The interior feels like it's stuck between trying to be cozy and settling for bland. They were aiming for something, but whatever it was, they missed, V muses, noticing the muted colors and overly functional furniture that do little to create a welcoming vibe. The bar's patrons are exactly what you'd expect in this part of town, mid-level corporate types who value predictability and routine. These are the 9-to-5ers, V notes, watching as they sip drinks in comfortable silence, their conversations revolving around work and little else. They're here to unwind, not to engage. There's some history to the place, a family-run joint brought over from Cambridge, kept alive by the daughter of the original owner. But in this sterile environment, that history feels more like a relic than a living legacy. There's a story here, but it's buried under layers of corporate polish, V reflects, feeling a sense of disconnect between the bar's past and its present. Reconciliation Park, just outside, offers a rare bit of greenery in the midst of the concrete jungle, but even that feels more like a calculated addition than a true escape. Nice enough, V thinks, but it doesn't do much to lift the place. In the end, Hometown Deli lands in the C tier for V. It's functional, well located, and serves its purpose, but it lacks the warmth and vibrancy that make a place memorable. For V, it's just another stop in Night City, a place to grab a drink and move on, not somewhere to spend time. Ho-Oh exudes a unique energy, situated in the heart of Kabuki with neon lights and an ambiance reminiscent of old Hong Kong. The place is alive with the buzz of blackjack tables, arcade machines, and a bar that serves up drinks as shady deals go down just out of sight. It's a setting that could easily belong to some old gangster flick, full of mystery and danger, but it doesn't quite resonate with V. This joint's got a distinct vibe, no doubt, V muses, eyeing the colorful lanterns and the mix of patrons around him. It's not just another run-of-the-mill spot. There's a gritty charm here, something raw and unpredictable. But despite the allure, V can't shake the sense that this isn't the place for him to unwind. The tiger claws run the place, and their presence is felt everywhere, from the watchful eyes of security to the restricted areas that scream, "Don't ask, don't tell." The whole atmosphere is charged with an underlying tension. You can feel it in the air, V notes, glancing at the stairs leading to floors where the real action, dangerous, criminal, is likely happening. I'm not here to mix business with pleasure, and this place feels like it's both. Despite the exotic appeal and the thrill of the unknown, Ho-Oh's dark undercurrents make it less of a haven for someone like V. It's more of a playground for risk-takers, but with its ties to the tiger claws and the constant hum of potential trouble, it's not quite where V wants to let his guard down. Ho-Oh sits comfortably in the C tier for V. The club's distinctive, gritty vibe is a draw, but the tension and gang ties make it a bit too complicated for a place meant to relax. It's a cool spot, but not one where V can truly escape the pressures of Night City. Tucked away in the depths of Dogtown's longshore stacks, the Moth is a sanctuary for those looking to escape the harsh reality of life on the fringes. V takes in the atmosphere, a mix of old-school charm and rough-around-the-edges practicality. It's a place that feels lived in, not just another cookie-cutter bar trying too hard to impress. This place has a vibe, V thinks, noting the low-lit interior and the hum of conversation from the regulars. The pool table in the corner, the old jukebox playing tracks from decades past, it all gives the Moth a sense of authenticity that's rare in Night City. Feels like it's been around forever, just like the people who drink here. Behind the bar is Elena Xenakis, better known around these parts as Alex. An undercover FIA agent with a past as complex as the city itself, she's seen it all. She's got this place running like a well-oiled machine, V observes. Alex knows her customers by name, listens to their stories, and pours drinks with the kind of care that makes you feel like you're more than just another body at the bar. You can tell she's been through a lot, but she doesn't let it show. Tough as nails, but with a heart that's still in the right place. The Moth's location in the rough-and-tumble Dogtown adds to its appeal. It's not the kind of place you stumble upon by accident. It's a spot you seek out when you need a break from the chaos outside. It's got that cyberpunk Wild West vibe, V thinks, taking in the mix of patrons, grizzled locals, weary travelers, and the occasional merc looking for a stiff drink and a bit of peace. For V, the Moth is more than just a bar. It's a place where you can let your guard down, if only for a little while. It's not flashy, but it's got soul, the kind of place that's built on the stories of the people who pass through its doors. That's why it earns its B-tier spot, a solid choice when you're looking for something real, in a city that's anything but. Heavy Heart stands in stark contrast to much of Dogtown, a gleaming beacon of opulence amid the district's decay. Nestled within the Golden Pacific area, this Egyptian-themed nightclub caters to the elite of Dogtown, the arms dealers, black market traders, and other high-profile criminals who run the underbelly of Night City. The exterior, a pyramid-shaped structure, looms over the surrounding ruins, giving off an almost eerie sense of grandeur. Feels like a tomb for the living, V thinks as they approach the entrance. Once inside, the atmosphere shifts from the harsh reality outside to something more surreal. The interior is lavish, with dim lighting, lush seating areas, and holographic dancers moving in sync with the rhythmic bass that reverberates through the air. They've really leaned into the whole Egyptian vibe, V notes, taking in the decor, ornate columns, golden accents, and hieroglyphics etched into the walls. Heavy Hearts is a place where power congregates under the guise of leisure. The patrons here are a cut above the usual street-level riffraff. You can feel it in the air, V muses. Everyone here's got something to hide, but they're damn good at hiding it. The clientele is a mix of well-dressed criminals, each one more dangerous than the last, but all carrying themselves with a cool confidence. This isn't a place to pick a fight, V realizes, scanning the room. Everyone's packing, but no one's showing. Despite its high-class appeal, Heavy Hearts doesn't try to be something it's not. It's a place where the powerful come to unwind, do business, and occasionally let their guard down, if only for a few hours. This is where deals are made, V thinks, watching a group of sharply dressed individuals negotiate over drinks, and where fortunes are lost. The club's dark, moody atmosphere is a fitting backdrop for the kind of clientele it attracts. The Heavy Hearts Club isn't about flashy displays or wild parties. It's about control, secrecy, and the subtle display of power. It's a place that demands respect, but doesn't go out of its way to earn it. You walk in here, you play by their rules, V concludes. For V, Heavy Hearts is a solid B-tier spot. It's not the kind of place they'd frequent for a casual night out, but when the occasion calls for rubbing shoulders with the city's underworld elite, there's no better place to be. Seventh Hell is the kind of place that immediately makes you feel like you've stepped into the heart of the beast. Situated in the shadowy depths of downtown city center, this nightclub is a favorite haunt for those who want to lose themselves in the music and the madness that comes with it. Owned by former Merc Jack Mosser, Seventh Hell is more than just a spot to dance. It's a neon-soaked descent into chaos. The club's entrance is guarded by members of the Animals, a gang known for their brute strength and relentless attitude. Not exactly the welcoming committee you'd hope for, but they get the job done, V thinks, as they hand over the steep $500 entrance fee. Once inside, the atmosphere is electric. The music pounds through the air, a relentless beat that you can feel in your bones. The lights flash in sync with the rhythm, casting long shadows that dance along with the crowd. The layout of Seventh Hell is a maze of stairs, corridors, and hidden rooms. Feels like a place where you could get lost or disappear, V muses as they navigate the different levels. The main floor is dominated by a massive dance floor and a DJ booth that seems almost alive with energy. Above, the second floor offers more secluded seating and VIP areas where the city's elite can look down on the chaos below. Up there, it's all business and big deals, V observes, noticing the guarded VIP entrance. Down here, it's just survival of the fittest. Despite its rough edges, Seventh Hell has a certain allure that's hard to resist. The club pulses with life, a raw, unfiltered energy that you won't find in the more polished venues around the city. It's a place where anything can happen, and often does. This isn't for the faint of heart, V reflects, watching the crowd. But if you're looking to let loose and embrace the wild side of Night City, there's no better place. The club's dark, gritty atmosphere is part of what makes it so appealing. It's a place where you can disappear into the night, lose yourself in the crowd, and maybe even find a little trouble along the way. It's not just a club, it's an experience, V concludes. For V, Seventh Hell earns its B-tier ranking. It's not the most refined spot in Night City, but it's got a raw edge that's hard to find anywhere else. Whether you're there to dance, do business, or just soak in the chaos, Seventh Hell delivers in spades. Tucked away in the industrial sprawl of Arroyo Santo Domingo, Red Dirt Bar is more than just a spot to grab a drink. It's a living piece of Night City's rock history. The place oozes with the kind of grit and authenticity that only decades of hard living and hard playing can create. Now this is where legends are made, V thinks, taking in the bar's storied walls. Red Dirt Bar doesn't try to be anything other than what it is, a no-frills rock bar with a deep connection to the city's musical roots. The walls are plastered with posters from gigs gone by, each one a reminder of the countless bands that have passed through. It's impossible to ignore the sense of history, especially knowing that Samurai, one of Night City's most iconic chrome rock bands, played their early gigs here. Johnny Silverhand himself used to tear up this stage, V muses, feeling the weight of the bar's legacy. The interior is a testament to the bar's rough and ready attitude. The checkered floor is scuffed from years of mosh pits, and the stage, while small, feels like the heart of the place. Not a bad spot to catch a live show, V thinks, eyeing the setup. The lighting is minimal, letting the place keep its raw vibe intact, with a few neon signs adding to the underground feel. Despite its rough exterior, Red Dirt has a soul that draws you in. The regulars here aren't just patrons, they're part of the bar's ongoing story. They know the owner by name and everyone has a favorite memory tied to this place. Feels like a home away from home for those who live on the edge, V considers. There's a camaraderie here, a sense of belonging that's hard to find anywhere else in the city. The location in Arroyo, a district under constant construction and ruled by the 6th Street gang, adds another layer of character to Red Dirt. It's an out-of-the-way joint, surrounded by unfinished buildings and the hum of heavy machinery. You've got to want to be here, V notes. But once you're inside, it's worth the trip. Red Dirt Bar doesn't have the glitz or the glamour of Night City's more upscale venues, but that's exactly what makes it stand out. It's a place with history, with character, and with a sense of authenticity that's increasingly rare in this city. For V, Red Dirt Bar easily earns its A-tier spot. It's not about the flash or the fame, it's about the music, the memories, and the people who call this place home. As V approaches the edge of Little China, where the urban sprawl of Night City converges with the neon-lit skyline of Japantown, they catch sight of the unmistakable glow of Riot. This isn't just another club. Riot pulses with an energy that's almost alive, a place where the city's heartbeat feels strongest. This is where the real action happens, V thinks, feeling the familiar thrum of excitement building in their chest. Riot is more than a destination, it's a rush, an escape. A reminder that beneath the chrome and grime, Night City still has a soul. Stepping through the entrance, the chaotic world outside is swallowed by the heavy bass that reverberates through the walls, each beat syncing with V's pulse. The club is a living organism, the crowd its lifeblood, surging and flowing in time with the music. It's easy to get lost here, intentionally so. In Riot, you're not just another merc, not just another face in the crowd, V muses. You're part of something bigger, something raw and real. The layout is a maze of possibilities. Downstairs, the main floor throbs with life, every corner packed with bodies moving in sync to the relentless beats. The air is thick with a mix of sweat, synth smoke, and the sharp tang of illicit substances, an intoxicating cocktail that heightens every sense. This place feels like freedom, V reflects, watching as people lose themselves in the music, shedding their day-to-day personas like old skins. But it's the upstairs that holds V's attention, the VIP area where deals are made and secrets traded, where the city's power brokers mix with the elite. This is where the real game is played, V thinks, recalling the tension of backstage encounters, the whispered conversations between sets. The memories are sharp, Kerry Eurodyne's volatile temper, the Us Cracks' naive ambition, the clash of old-school rock and corporate greed. Every step in Riot is a dance on the edge, a balancing act between chaos and control. V can't help but feel at home here, in the midst of the noise and the frenzy. It's the kind of place that strips away the pretense, leaving only the raw, unfiltered truth. Riot isn't just a club, V realizes. It's a mirror, a reflection of Night City itself, beautiful and brutal, chaotic and alive. And that's why V keeps coming back, because in Riot they find more than just distraction. They find a connection to the city, to its people, to its unyielding spirit. For V, Riot isn't just S-tier, it's the pinnacle of Night City's nightlife. It's where they go to feel the city's pulse, to remind themselves why they're still fighting, still running, still surviving. In Riot, surrounded by the blinding lights and deafening sound, V can lose themselves, and in doing so find a piece of who they truly are. El Coyote Cojo stands as a vibrant cornerstone in the Glen, a part of Haywood, where the grit of Night City is balanced by a strong sense of community. As V approaches, the bar's neon sign flickers to life, a beacon of warmth in the urban sprawl. Stepping inside, V is immediately enveloped in the familiar sounds and scents that make this place feel like a refuge from the relentless grind of city life. This is where people come to feel grounded, V thinks, taking in the scene with a sense of comfort. The bar is alive with the buzz of conversation, laughter, and the occasional clink of glasses. The walls are adorned with murals that celebrate the heritage of the Valentinos, and there's a sense of history in every inch of the place. This is not just a bar, it's a living part of the community. Owned and run by the formidable Mama Wells, El Coyote Cojo is a haven for those who need a break from the chaos outside. For V, it's a place rich with memories, most of them tied to Jackie. The scent of grilled meat mingles with the warm, earthy aroma of good tequila, bringing to mind countless nights spent here, sharing dreams and planning futures that now seem so distant. This place, V muses, holds pieces of my past I didn't know I'd miss so much. Mama Wells is the heart of this establishment, her presence a comforting constant. She's the kind of person who commands respect, not through fear, but through the sheer force of her love and loyalty to her community. V can't help but admire her resilience, knowing all she's endured, yet still she remains a pillar for everyone who walks through her doors. In a city where trust is hard to come by, she's one of the few who's always had my back, V reflects. El Coyote Cojo may not have the high-tech flash of Night City's trendier spots, but it doesn't need it. What it offers is something far more valuable. A sense of belonging, a place where the weight of the world seems to lift, if only for a moment. This bar is a sanctuary, a space where the noise of the city fades into the background, and what remains are the simple pleasures. Good food, good drink, and even better company. V sits at the bar, savoring a drink while the sounds of life carry on around them. Here the past feels close, woven into the very fabric of the place. It's where V and Jackie toasted their friendship, dreamed of their future, and sought comfort after tough jobs. The ofrenda for Jackie, a deeply moving ceremony held here, was more than a ritual. It was a testament to the bonds that tie this community together, bonds that V feels deeply. El Coyote Cojo isn't just a bar. It's a touchstone, a reminder of what really matters in a world that often feels like it's spinning out of control. For V, it's undoubtedly A tier, a place that offers not just a respite, but a connection to something real and enduring. In the ever-changing landscape of Night City, El Coyote Cojo is a constant, a place that always feels like coming home. As V approaches the flickering neon of Kabuki, the heartbeat of Night City's black market, a bold electric sign catches their eye. Lizzie's Bar. The name alone carries weight, whispered among those who know the city's underground well. This isn't just a bar, V thinks. It's a fortress, a last refuge for the lost and the hunted. The air changes as V steps inside, transitioning from the chaotic streets of Kabuki to an atmosphere that's simultaneously welcoming and daunting. The pulsating beats of braindance music thrum through the walls, resonating with the electric pinks and purples that bathe the interior in a neon glow. This isn't a place where you just drink or dance. It's where you connect with the soul of the city, where every patron has a story etched in scars and cyberware. Lizzie's was born from defiance. Once a brothel run by the indomitable Elizabeth Lizzie Borden, its transformation into a mock stronghold came after her brutal end at the hands of the Tiger Claws. Her spirit lingers here, in every neon-lit corner and every echo of bass that shakes the floor. The Mocks, with their creed of protecting the vulnerable, have turned this bar into a sanctuary, a place where those who have nowhere else to go can find safety, or at least a moment of peace. As V walks further in, their gaze is drawn to the braindance booths lining the walls, each offering a different escape from reality. The patrons here aren't just looking to forget, they're searching for something, maybe a memory, maybe a dream, or perhaps a glimpse of a life they wish they'd had. This place is more than a bar, V muses. It's a crossroads, a place where reality blurs with fantasy. The bar itself is a monument to Lizzie's legacy, a bold neon sign hanging overhead, reminding everyone who walks through those doors of the bar's origin. Behind it all, the presence of Judy Alvarez, one of the city's most skilled braindance techs, is almost palpable. Her work in the basement is the beating heart of Lizzie's, driving its unique blend of defiance and innovation. For V, Lizzie's Bar isn't just an A-tier spot, it's a statement. It's where you go to feel alive in a city that's constantly trying to drag you down. Here, among the neon lights and the rhythmic hum of braindance, you can lose yourself and maybe, just maybe, find something worth holding on to. The elevator doors slide open, revealing the elite atmosphere of dark matter. V steps forward, their breath catching for a moment as they take in the view. The shimmering lights of Japantown's skyline stretch out beyond the glass walls, a stunning backdrop to the sleek futuristic design inside. It's a far cry from the gritty streets below, a world apart where the city's upper echelon comes to unwind. This is a whole different world, V thinks, their eyes scanning the polished marble floors that reflect the soft ambient lighting. Every detail here has been meticulously curated, from the lush plants lining the walls to the subtle hum of music that weaves through the air. It's a place where luxury and exclusivity aren't just offered, they're expected. V knows they don't belong here every night, but tonight is special. V glances over at the low-lit booths, their mind drifting to the thought of Panam. She's not one for places like this, V muses, a small smile tugging at their lips. Panam is more at home in the rugged expanse of the Badlands, with dust on her boots and the roar of an engine in her ears. But tonight, V wanted to show her something different, a night where the worries of Night City are left behind, if only for a while. As V leads Panam to a secluded booth, they can't help but notice how she stands out, even here. She's traded her usual nomad gear for something more refined, yet she still exudes that same fierce energy. She cleans up nice, V thinks, catching a glimpse of admiration in Panam's eyes as she takes in the surroundings. They settle into the booth, the city's skyline stretching out behind them. The world feels far away, reduced to a distant hum. V orders a couple of premium drinks, something smooth and strong, the kind that suits the mood of the night. As they wait, V steals a glance at Panam, catching her in a rare, unguarded moment. This place, it's like nothing else, Panam says, her voice soft, almost as if she's afraid to break the spell. V nods, feeling a warmth spread through their chest. Glad you like it, V replies, their gaze lingering on her. Wanted to give you something different tonight, something special. For a moment, they sit in comfortable silence, the weight of their usual struggles lifted. V's mind drifts back to all they've been through together, the heists, the battles, the close calls. We've seen so much, V thinks, their hand absently tracing the rim of their glass. But moments like this, they're what make it all worth it. As the night wears on, they talk about everything and nothing, life in the Badlands, dreams of the future, and the quiet moments in between. There's a vulnerability here that V rarely allows themselves to feel, but with Panam, it's different. She gets it, V realizes, feeling a connection that runs deeper than the thrill of the chase or the rush of a job well done. Panam leans back, her eyes reflecting the city lights. I could get used to this, she says, a playful glint in her eye. V chuckles, feeling the tension of the city's chaos slip further away. Yeah, they agree, raising their glass to hers. But only if you're here with me. As they clink glasses, V knows this night will linger in their memories long after they've left dark matter. It's not just the opulence or the view, it's the company. With Panam by their side, even a place like this, so far removed from the life they know, feels like home. For V, dark matter isn't just an A-tier spot, it's a place where, even in the heart of Night City, they can find a moment of peace, a reminder of what they're fighting for. And tonight, as they sit with Panam, the world outside can wait. V rolls up to the grim silhouette of the Totentanz, the notorious neo-death metal club that dominates the skyline of Northside Watson. The building itself is a hulking relic, a decaying tower that Maelstrom has claimed as their fortress and playground. This is where Night City comes to die, V muses, knowing full well that stepping inside means leaving sanity at the door. But that's exactly why they're here. Sometimes you need to flirt with madness to feel alive. The club's name, Totentanz, the Dance of Death, isn't just for show. Inside, the atmosphere is electric, with a sense of controlled chaos. The walls vibrate with the raw, pounding beats of neo-death metal, each note as sharp and unforgiving as the gang that runs the place. Maelstrom doesn't just own this spot, they embody it, their twisted sense of reality seeping into every corner of the club. This isn't just a venue, V thinks. It's a statement, a testament to the darkest depths of Night City. As V steps through the heavy metal doors, they're greeted by the overwhelming stench of sweat, metal, and blood. The dance floor is a sea of bodies, thrashing to the relentless assault of Tinnitus, the band that calls Totentanz home. Strobe lights flicker, casting eerie shadows across faces twisted in ecstasy or rage. It's hard to tell the difference here. This is where you come when you need to lose yourself, V reflects, feeling the bass reverberate through their bones. It's a release, a way to exorcise the demons that come with living in a city like this. But Totentanz is more than just a club. It's Maelstrom's heart, the place where they plot, scheme, and indulge their most depraved impulses. V knows that by being here, they're walking a fine line. One wrong move could mean a bullet to the head, or worse. Survival isn't guaranteed in a place like this, V thinks, eyeing the heavily armed Maelstrom guards that watch the crowd with cold, cybernetic eyes. Yet, there's a strange comfort in the danger, a reminder that in Night City, power is often measured by how close you can get to the edge without falling off. V makes their way to the bar, where the drinks are as strong as the music, and the conversation is a mix of threats and dark humor. The bartender, Dietlinde, a Maelstrom lieutenant with a face full of chrome, serves up a concoction that burns all the way down. This place isn't for the faint of heart, V muses, sipping the drink that feels like it could strip paint. It's a place where you confront the harsh reality of Night City's underbelly, where you either adapt to the darkness or get swallowed by it. For V, Totentanz isn't just an S-tier club, it's a crucible. It's where they come to test their limits, to see how far they can push themselves before something or someone pushes back. In the Totentanz, surrounded by the raw aggression of the music and the barely contained violence of the crowd, V finds a twisted sort of peace. It's a reminder that in a city that's always trying to break you, sometimes the best defense is to embrace the chaos and dance with death. The sunset over the Badlands casts a golden glow on the rough edges of the motel, and V can't help but feel a sense of calm wash over them. The Sunset Motel, nestled within the red peaks of the eastern wastelands, is a place far removed from the relentless chaos of Night City. This is where you come to breathe, V thinks, as the arid breeze carries the scent of dust and gasoline. It's a different world out here, quieter, slower, and somehow more honest. Stepping inside, V is greeted by the familiar creak of old floorboards and the low hum of a jukebox playing some forgotten country tune. The Sunset Motel isn't flashy. It's a far cry from the neon-soaked clubs and high-tech bars of the city. But that's precisely why V likes it. It's a place where time feels like it's standing still, where the worries of a mercenary life are left at the door, and all that matters is the here and now. This place, V muses, it's a sanctuary, a retreat for when the city becomes too much. V's eyes land on the bar, a simple setup with a few worn stools and a bartender who knows the regulars by name. Noah, the owner, is a man of few words, but he's got stories if you know how to ask. The conversations here are unhurried, steeped in nostalgia and regret, but also in the kind of resilience that the Badlands breeds. V often finds themselves talking with Noah about life, about the future, or lack thereof, and the road that lies ahead. It's here in this unassuming bar that V feels grounded, connected to something real and raw. There's another reason Sunset Motel holds a special place in V's heart: memories of Pan Am. This was the spot where they first crossed paths, where a simple job turned into something much more. The Badlands, with its stark beauty and endless horizons, was the backdrop to their story, and the Sunset Motel became a symbol of that connection. Every time I'm here, V thinks, it's like revisiting the start of something I didn't even know I needed. The motel is more than just a pit stop. It's a reminder of the bond they share, one forged in the heat of battle and the quiet moments in between. As V leans back on the bar stool, taking in the faded posters and the soft light filtering through dusty windows, they feel a rare sense of peace. The The Sunset Motel might not have the allure of Night City's top-tier spots, but it doesn't need to. Out here, it's about the simplicity of life, the conversations that happen when the world slows down, and the memories that linger long after the sun has set. For V, this isn't just an S-tier location. It's a place to find solace, to remember where they've been, and to think about where they're going. As V steps into the dark, rain-soaked alley in Little China, a green neon sign flickers to life above a discreet entrance. This is it, the Afterlife, the most legendary bar in Night City, where only the elite of the elite come to drink, deal, and die for a shot at immortality. This is where legends are born, V muses, the weight of the moment heavy on their shoulders. The city's pulse seems to slow as they approach, the sounds of distant traffic and murmuring crowds fading into the background. This isn't just a bar, it's a rite of passage, a gateway to the highest echelons of the mercenary world. Crossing the threshold, V is enveloped by the dim, cool air, tinged with the scent of metal and old booze. The interior is a far cry from the flashy, neon-drenched clubs that dot the rest of Night City. The Afterlife is something different, industrial, almost sterile in its design, with metallic walls and harsh green lighting that casts long, eerie shadows. Feels like walking into a morgue, V thinks, and that's no coincidence. The bar is built in a repurposed morgue where the cold steel once held the bodies of the city's forgotten, now serving drinks named after its fallen legends. At the heart of it all is the bar itself, a sleek metallic altar where the city's most notorious mercs and fixers gather. V's eyes scan the room, taking in the faces. Rogue, the queen of the Afterlife, chatting with a group of hardened solos. Claire, the barkeep with a knack for mixing drinks that tell stories. And the various ghosts of the past, etched into the walls and whispered in the low hum of conversation. This is where the big deals go down, V reminds themselves, feeling both the thrill and the gravity of the moment. Every seat in this bar has seen history being made, and now they're part of it. But it's not just the aura of history that draws V to the Afterlife, it's the sense of belonging, of being part of something bigger than themselves. In a city where life is cheap and alliances are fleeting, the Afterlife offers a rare sense of permanence. You come here to prove you've made it, V reflects, thinking of the countless mercs who've passed through these doors, seeking the same validation. It's a place where connections are forged in the heat of battle, where deals are cut with a handshake or a bullet, and where the drinks carry the weight of the legends who inspired them. V orders a Jackie Wells, a tribute to the friend who didn't make it, but whose spirit lingers in every corner of this place. As they take a sip, the taste is bittersweet, a reminder of what's been lost and what's still to be gained. This drink, V thinks, it's more than just a cocktail, it's a legacy. Here in the Afterlife, every sip is a nod to the past, a toast to the fallen and a challenge to those still standing. As V leans back against the cool metal of the bar, they feel a rare sense of clarity. The Afterlife isn't just a bar, it's a monument, a sanctuary for those who've walked the edge and lived to tell the tale. For V, it's not just about the deals or the connections, it's about the stories that fill the air, the history that seeps into the walls, and the ever-present reminder that in Night City, there's only one path worth walking, the one that leads to the Afterlife. In a city as wild and unpredictable as Night City, the Riot bar isn't just a place to grab a drink, it's a lifeline, a momentary escape from the relentless grind. In a world where the neon lights blur with the rain, where every night could be your last, bars become more than just venues. They're sanctuaries, battlegrounds, places where you can either find yourself or lose everything. Maybe you're seeking the quiet solitude of Sunset Motel, where the weight of the city fades into the distant hum of the Badlands. Or perhaps you crave the pulse-pounding chaos of Riot, where the music and the crowd make you forget your troubles, if only for a night. And then there's the legendary Afterlife, a place where you don't just drink. You carve your name into the city's history. These are my thoughts, my journey through V's world, where every bar tells a story, and every night has a different vibe. But in a city like this, opinions are as varied as the people who live here. If you see things differently or if there's a spot you think we missed, let us know in the comments below. Your journey through Night City might lead you somewhere entirely new. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the heart of Night City's nightlife. If you connected with this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment on where you'd like to see us explore next. Until then, stay safe out there. And remember, in Night City, the night is always young.